Hello, 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 and welcome to My Empty Hands, a podcast about the martial arts, typically focused on Kempo, but we give love to all the martial arts around here. As always, I am Reggie Darden and have another wonderful guest with me today, Miss Kaari Wesh. And
Sorry.
Kaari. See, I before we started recording, I said that I have to always butcher everyone's name, regardless of how easy or complicated it is, and I got to stay true to form. And consistency is key in when training. So that's
Jump.
that's. So we got that box checked off. Now I just need my dogs to bark, and I think we'll have everything checked off here.
Great.
But yeah, so we are going to get into her journey a little bit and all the wonderful things that she's doing, and a wonderful. I guess business venture, service to the community that she does. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. But yeah, I always kind of start things off by just giving a little bit of my background. I currently train in multiple martial arts at this point: American Kempo, Hapkido, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Muay Thai, and Capoeira. I also have some experience in Taekwondo and did a little bit of boxing in the army. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, we're gonna get into our guest journey today, and yeah, whatever other rat holes that we fall under, we'll do that
Great.
as well. So. Yeah, let's get this show on the road, and go ahead and tell me and the listeners, the viewers, the followers, where did the martial arts find you? Where did it all start? And we'll just kind of go from there.
Sure. So I'm kind of similar in your aspect where there's lots of things happening at the same time. I started when I was 5 or 6 years old. This is debatable. My instructor says 5. My mom says she thought I was 6. I have no idea. I was too little to really know. But I've also done kung fu and a little bit of jujitsu. And then my overall training, I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska. Very, very pretty small rural town. It's very cold. Team sports, outdoor sports are very limited in the summertime because we don't have a big summer. So my mom had put me into something that was a year-round activity, right? You have a child that is really, looking for that outlet. And so she went to all the different martial arts schools in my area: Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, Karate. And she tells me, again, because I was too little, she tells me that she went and sat in on all of these lessons. And eventually she met my instructor that I would keep for 35 plus years now, Charles Scott in Fairbanks, Alaska. And she just says, like, that was where you were meant to be. And it was like, she just knew. And so that seemed very, very cool because he is so important in my life, now even. And I think most lifelong martial artists will be able to attest to this, that once you find your home or you find that first dojo or that first instructor, they really resonate with you. And I call him, he's like my second dad. He tells me when I'm doing stupid stuff, or when I was growing up, like, hey, that was maybe in poor form, or, celebrating and going to graduations and supporting, more than just a student, but it was like, you're part of this bigger family and life. So, that's where I grew up. It was for, Shudokan karate, which is often confused with Shotokan. So this is Toyama-ryu, through, Kanken Toyama. And then, he also was, I guess, tested and grandfathered into Gosoku-ryu, which is based out of Glendale, California, through Soke Tak Kaboda. So I have already in my one school both Shudokan and Gosoku-ryu for what we did for kata. And if anybody knows anything about Shudokan, Shotokan was just karate. It wasn't specifically Goju or Shorinryu or Wataru or Weichi or anything. It was just karate. And so I got lots of exposure, which was really fun because we would get instruction by a person that would come in and be like, we're going to learn some Goju kata. And we'd be like, cool. And then you learn Goju mentalities. And then somebody else would come in, we're going to do Shotokan. And we're like, okay. And then you learn Shotokan mentalities. And so we were very accepting of a lot of arts, which I find, now that I've grown up, very not normal. It's not normal.
Yeah, that's very unusual, especially in a traditional, quote unquote traditional type style. Yeah, the kind of cross training is very very uncommon.
Yes, and so we had sort of this base core. We did the pinans, not the heinans, like Shotokan has heinans. We did the pinans. And a lot of our base katas were much more, I would say now, I can look back in retrospect, much more Chinese in influence. Everything was very fluid. It was very, there was no hard stopping like Goju or Shotokan, or everything was very much more fluid. There were a lot more circular motions. So I didn't, I mean, I'm a kid growing up, you know, I don't know these things. This is what I was exposed to. And it was normal. And then my instructor, God, he was a jack of all trades. He is so cool. He is like so fun and just knowledgeable. But he also taught Japanese jiu-jitsu. And so I spent multiple years rolling and getting slaughtered on a jiu-jitsu mat. Learning how to fall for Aikido. We did long segments or small circle. We did Iaido. He was big in Iaido, and he had a cousin that was just a wealth of knowledge, rest his soul, in Iaido, which is very, very cool to learn and very like calming and peaceful. So definitely a dichotomy of, we were also very rough and tumble for sparring and for kumite. And Iaido was being much more calm and peaceful. Aikido, when we would do some Aikido stuff, very much more calm and peaceful and redirecting people rather than just punching them as hard as you possibly can. So my growing up was a lot, and I was a dojo rat. I never left. And honestly,
I've been there.
Because it kept me out of trouble, and there wasn't really too much to do in Alaska anyway. I would camp and fish and stuff in the summertime, of course, but in the winter, which was very long, to mostly keep myself out of trouble and keep me active, I was at the dojo all the time. So from the time that I was able to drive, I mean, I remember taking my driver's test, and the first place that I went was straight to the dojo because it was my transportation to and from school and getting to karate. So I spent hours, and then I was, helping teach or assisting in the kids' class once I was a teenager, staying and training for my class. And then afterwards, I remember Taibo was big. It was the 90s.
Oh, yes. Taibo.
Taibo, man. Yeah. I remember.
Shout out to Billy Blanks.
That's right. Billy, what's up? Taibo was huge. And I remember seeing this just like total flip of the coin, right? The class transition. The kids are leaving, the adults are coming in, right? And then the adults are leaving. And then the police officers and the women and like the ones that just want to get a good workout in and just sweat are coming in for Taibo. Lots of focus mitts, lots of, hitting pads and bags. And I remember just being like, all right. And then it's 9:00 at night. It's time to go home. So,
yeah. I know those days very well.
Yeah, that was high school for me. I remember switching it up at one point and doing kung fu for about 3 to 4 years. that was definitely different. I'm not sure I would say that helped my karate training very much, but
What
it
particular system of
was
kung fu
like a
was?
5 animal form, Hung Kung Fu. And so we did, dragon and leopard and tiger, long and short. We did fan form. Gosh, this was the late 90s, so I'm dusting off a lot of rust in all of this. I can't think of it. Like, we had a 2-man form that was kind of like a choreographed 2-person drill of lots of attacks, and it was very long and very complicated. And I remember thinking, this is a whole thing in itself. But we spent a lot of time on not a very big curriculum, and so you got really good. And I remember seeing, one kata ended up being like 3 or 4 minutes long. And just remembering the different sets of doing a kata this long and complicated was very tricky. So my brain definitely was taxed in that method. But as far as the movement, it was just so different than just doing normal karate training. So I did have to learn how to move in a totally different way, which now in retrospect, I'm super thankful for. But it was it did kind of war in my head. I was a terrible competitor during the time I was doing Kung Fu. Like, hands down, I was terrible. Like, my kata was terrible because I couldn't stop at anything. Everything was very fluid at that point. And so once I backed off of Kung Fu and was able to refocus, I was like, oh yeah, okay. I see what you mean now. Because I would get reviews and criticisms, and it was like, oh, that's what you mean. Okay, sure, I understand.
Well, that's part of the growth. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as we would love to be perfect and whatever the most awesomest martial artist, we don't all start out that way, regardless of when or where we started or who we trained under. We gotta build up to greatness. So to be able to take the feedback is probably a more important skill than being able to do the form or do the fight or whatever it is that you're doing there. I wanted to kind of roll back to a couple of things real quick. So you starting so young. What was kind of the catalyst for that? Were your parents martial artists as well, or what was the genesis of that?
It was 1989 or 1990. What do you think it was? I mean, come on. It was, for me, I mean, as a child, also being as a child, not, somebody who's a teenager, their influence is going to be totally different. They're all going to say Karate Kid. Mine was Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles work? Yeah, no, that's
cool. Like, the mystery. It was totally the Ninja Turtles. I really, really, really wanted to be Raphael or Donatello. So, it was just this thing I kept asking my mom, I want to do that. Like, how do I do that? Can I try that? The allure of weapons, I think, was also so cool, right? But it's still, as an adult, that is so cool, right?
Exactly.
But it was definitely the Ninja Turtles.
Okay, all right, right on. The other thing is, starting out in very kind of classically traditional system, was it kind of a large kids class, or kind of what was that? Or were you just working with adults? Or I just kind of in my mind, in my little kind of mind picture, I don't really see. I can't really imagine a large amount of kids in a very kind of traditional system.
Okay. So I remember my first dojo that I was training at was in our town's old post office, and it was down in the basement, concrete floors, huge, 8x8 columns in the middle, walls up front at the showman, and we had these bleachers off to the side, terrible orange yellow shag carpet in the lobby. And then there was a separate room in the back that had its own special door, very closed off, very private. And kids class was 20 to 30 kids. I mean, it was busy down there. The group of people that he had, that, he would teach, and then the group that we had assisting and helping, we had a great, motley crew that was running this school. And to this day, knowing that I'm still friends with some of those people that remember me when I was 5 and 6 years old as a white belt is just so cool. But I was terrified. I hated the idea of doing something wrong. I hated the idea of looking like an idiot. And so I spent, he always jokes and he tells me months in this back room where nobody could see me essentially fail over and over again. And I remember doing kata. The first kata was Taikyoku Shodan over and over and over and over and over again. And I would do this kata to where I had to perfect it. I didn't want anybody to see it until it was perfect, and I didn't make any mistakes. And I remember multiple of our assistant instructors saying, you need to be out there. Come on, it's time. And me, crying, be no, I want to stay in the back, and just hide away. And eventually went out into the big group of kids, and to me, they were just, they're wild hooligans or whatever. They were not. They were totally normal people, especially totally normal children. But there was just so many of them. And I felt like I was the only white belt at the time, which I guess could have been true, but I feel like it's pretty doubtful. And kids class was big. We had fun though, because I remember one of our assistant instructors, Tim Tolliver, would have us run laps upstairs in the rafters in the attic of this totally cool building. And, we're jumping over trusses, and I just remember it was so cool. It's whoa, you're not supposed to be up here. And we're running up the stairs and up into the rafters and then coming back down. And I remember training was, cleaning the dojo was, okay, here you're going to stand in, mawashigeri and hold your leg, and here's a bucket of water. And you're
nice
7. And granted, it's not full or anything, but the monumental of holding that jug of water or water bottle or bucket of water, and then if it fell, there was mop. So mop up. And so you look around
Very
this
nice.
concrete hole, and there's kids with buckets all on their legs. Mopping. But boy, I guess the 80s and the early 90s were just a different time, which, everybody says the 60s and 70s were where it was at.
Oh, very, very much.
I got to speak up for the 90s kids.
Yeah, no, every decade had its had something going on, memorable,
Yeah.
levels of training and whatnot. I tend to throw the current generation under the bus a lot.
Oh,
and
we all do.
I'm going to do it again. So sorry, but
We all do.
y'all couldn't hang with the training of the 90s, 80s, 70s going back. There's things that are maybe shouldn't have been done in those earlier years, but I definitely think there's a little bit of a need for some of those old school ways to come back at least a little bit.
A little bit.
The young people these days, they need a little toughening up, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Yeah, no, that's pretty intense for a young
For
person
a
to
little
go
kid, but
through. And
it was fun at the same time. Uh, and I don't know if that was just the culture. I'm assuming it was maybe the culture and the community of it. And it was kind of just handed down or passed down. Now, I mean, the culture has totally changed. So the culture of
no, definitely.
art, the culture has totally changed. And, you know, get into that maybe later too. But yeah, like the
Oh
culture,
yeah, for sure.
totally
Mm.
different breed of things, because in the 90s you're being taught by the people that were in the 60s and 70s and were, essentially brawling in the streets because they needed, street cred.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
The Dojo
every
Wars
single,
and all those.
exactly, it was Cobra Kai. As funny as
Mm.
that is like there was some of that, like some of that is based in truth, and some
Oh
of it
yeah.
absolutely, fabricated for fun. But I remember hearing stories of the 70s and just being like, this is the Wild West. What are you guys talking about? But simultaneously, now I tell stories back, to this generation, and they're just like, what's wrong with you? So many things, child.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what we love. That's why we train, and that's why we train hard, because at the end of the day, it feels good, builds character, and
Yeah.
it's just overall a good time. So
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So we're gonna kind of bounce around here, and
Okay.
because my mind is always kind of wandering about different things, but I wanted to make sure that we talk about the your business, your service to the community that I think is really good, and that is you make produce gis for women, if
Yeah.
as I understand it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, let's talk about that, and how that all started, and yeah, let's get into that.
Okay. So again, I started training in the 90s. As a teenager, even in like preteen, like even younger than a teenager, I was I was always taller, bigger, and so I was always having to buy uniforms like a size ahead, and then chopping the bottoms off, and that was just kind of my life for forever. Like I remember my mom had a sewing machine, and the very first thing that I learned how to do on a sewing machine, it was not, make a cute blanket or sew a, it was specifically hemming pants and sleeves on my karate uniforms by the age of 14. And I accepted that this is just how life is. Luckily I had a school that had a fantastic female front line, right? We had a great core front line, and it was mixed 50-50 male and female. And I remember, so and so would show up and she'd have a new gi. I'm like, oh, let me see this. And we were always fascinated by, new fabrics or products or brands or, anything, because as a woman, it's like, how does that fit? How does it feel? Like, can you kick at it? And I remember being, again, 14 and 15 years old, spending hours at a sewing machine, running 8 lines of stitches on my pants and on my sleeves. And that's exhausting, and it's a lot of hard work. And so we were always fascinated. And so when somebody came in with something new, or Hanshi would have a new brand or whatever, he's like, hey, yeah, try this. I bought something on a whim. Check it out. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And or ordering gis through your instructor and just really hoping for the best. I feel like almost in every instructor has some kind of a connection with some gi company or brand out there. And it might be because, they get, a 15% discount or whatever the value price difference is for them to still sell it at the normal price, but they get, a little bit of a commission essentially. And new products would pop in, and we would all, as women, we would all try these new products because it was like, oh, well, I can't squat, I can't kick, I can't do this. This is riding up, my belt now is like just under my boobs. Like, that's not flattering. I can't move. And so it was a time. I remember everybody would call me, oh, you have to go talk to the gi snob, which was me. And that was because I would buy anything to try a different fit, to try a different cut. And I would alter it or tailor it if it didn't work. And if I hated it, I'd give it to somebody else. And so at one time, I remember a friend asking, well, how many gis do you have? And I was like, 24. I have 24
Oh,
gis.
my.
How many do you use on a regular basis? Maybe 6. But the other ones, I'd have like 2 sparring gis, 2 jiu-jitsu gis, 2 karate gis. Sometimes I needed a black gi. And yeah, I'd have on average 24 gis in my possession, altered to various stages. And eventually I was just like, none of this is working. And it was so frustrating. And so when I started Onekimono, it wasn't on purpose. So it was more like, there's got to be a better way. Eventually, it was just like, I was so frustrated because this one brand that was like, okay, you could never get a product from them. And it was so frustrating. And then I come to learn, Century stopped selling their women's cut uniform like years ago, which apparently had a zipper. If somebody can confirm that, I was told that there was a zipper. That sounds dangerous. So I started Ona, and mostly I went to school to be a designer, an architectural designer. And so really I was like, well, I could design a gi. Like, I've been doing, like, ripping apart these products, studying size charts and knowing, like, I know that I need this measurement at this location or your gi is not going to fit. Like, I just know it. And so I would look at dozens of size charts, and I compiled entire matrices of what fit, what didn't fit, why, and then what was irritating, and then how the fit would either restrict a movement. And like, if this measurement from here to here is less than this for me, I can't do an up block. Oh, interesting. If this measurement around here is less than this, I cannot kick, squat, or do anything with my legs. And so eventually it becomes, okay, I'm testing for whatever rank. I need to be able to do this kata, these kicks, and train for 8 hours because tests were long. What gi am I going to wear? Now I have to pre-plan because I need the top over here, I need the bottom from over here, and we're going to make a set, and it has to look nice enough for testing. Well, eventually I just made my own damn size chart, started my own company, because if I was frustrated, I'm sure that there were hundreds, if not thousands of other women who were just sitting in the same pot. Yes, slowly I'm starting to find them. Slowly they're starting to find me, luckily. And now I have a brand that is first designed for women. And then also, yes, men can of course wear this fit too. But the proportions are specific to female proportions in the sense that we have hips. We need more seat, like space in our seat to do what we need to do in a normal karate class. Some people, our gi jackets would gap. I call it gapping. And then you're making sure that you have, do I have the right color sports bra on? Do I have a shirt on top of that? What am I wearing? Because this always comes open. This fabric is too thin. I remember somebody a woman coming out of the dressing room and being like, okay, I've got this, student gi on that the instructor given. This is what we give everybody. You could see she had, little cheetah print undies on, and you're like, let's maybe change your pants, honey. You don't want to be out there with, that on display. It needs like at least a sense of modesty, right? We don't want that problem, but gis they're not designed to fix that problem. And so that's what I spent all those years, unbeknownst to me, figuring out. And so now I have a fit for slim people, for what I call a standard fit, and then a curvy fit and in some instances, even a curvy plus for people to just train in and be comfortable and feel part of the community and feel like they belong somewhere and do what they want to be doing, which is learning karate without any stigma or, inability to look like they're part of the class because everything is, packed in too tight, or they're having to wear a gi that's 2 sizes too big and they're rolling up their sleeves and they're rolling up their pants. And really just have a moment where I can serve this population and fix this gap and let them know, like, I've been seeing this problem for decades and I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you train normally. Train like you would any person next to you, irregardless of what your size is. Like, if you want to do karate, I got you. I will figure it out. And so I try and be as size inclusive as I can. Granted, of course, there's a limitation to everything, but I have slim fit, I have standard fit, I have a curvy fit. And if you need something more, I will figure that out for you, because if you want to do karate, I will help you. So that's kind of the overall, I guess, reason why I started and the gap that I found and how to serve that gap. That was a lot of rambling, and I'm sorry.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect. I love that. I love what you're doing. I can sort of relate in that in the capoeira world. We have pants that we wear that's part of our uniforms, or at least many of the schools groups have this particular quote unquote uniform. Mm-hmm. And I guess what's the best way to family friendly way to describe it? The pants for the most part are
skin tight by chance.
Well, I don't think skin tight is quite the accurately descriptive way to describe it, but I want to say that they're built for Brazilian bodies, but I kind of don't think that, because if you were to take the quote unquote stereotype of Brazilians, there's I don't think it really fits that. But I would just say that the fit of capoeira pants typically is a little interesting.
Okay.
To say. And yeah, it's one of these things where I wish that there were more people like you that were thinking about, hey, you know what, there's all, this is an art that's all over the world. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of different body types and whatnot. And just like the martial arts needs to evolve, well, the things that martial artists wear kind of need to evolve as well. And yeah, I would think that there would be more companies or more people that are thinking about these things and trying to make products for kind of everybody. It doesn't feel like there's
You
as
feel a
many
little
as
neglected.
there should be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
feel a little bit
But
neglected.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that. I love that, you see that there's this issue, and instead of just kind of sitting back and saying, hey, let's let somebody else take care of it, or you
All right.
stepped up and
I'm
are
still waiting.
doing it, and
Yeah.
and making it happen, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. One of my previous guests mentioned getting one of your uniforms, and
Mm-hmm.
she was quite a fan of it, and I believe another guest that I had also had mentioned. So I was like, oh well, I definitely need to talk to you and get you on the
Mm-hmm.
show, and help spread the word of a good thing that I think should be supported,
Yeah,
and
thank
yeah,
you.
we need to get the ladies out there and help them
It-
get the right gis, and uh,
right.
making it more comfortable. Making being comfortable also helps with having the desire to train.
Right. It really
I can
fosters a culture. Honestly, I mean, when you find a gap, are you finding, what are you identifying as the problem? And is it necessarily women? No, honestly, no. It's any person who falls outside that old. It's probably not. I mean, old school pattern that has come about based off of a traditional uniform from centuries ago, but you're filling this gap now, and it's really just to help maintain that tradition, but also serve a wider culture. And so it doesn't need to just like necessarily be women. That's just the niche that I found the biggest. It was like the biggest group that was yelling. But I have men who come in and are like, well, I'm barrel chested and I can't get anything to close, and it's like, let me see if I can find something for you. And then in some instances, I'll manipulate a pattern, or I'll switch up their sizes and be like, you're going to be a 175 jacket, but you're actually going to be a 160 slim pants, right? And so giving people those options, when they reach out to me, granted, I don't do anything fast because I work in a very, small scale. Everything is kind of, everything is operated out of my home in a sense. So nothing is quick. I mean, we're making gis for you. But even guys reach out to me and they're like, hey, I kind of have a heavier, thigh, and I can't wear normal pants. And it doesn't matter that it has a drawstring. I can't even get my leg in the hole. And it's like, been there.
yeah, yeah.
So it's not even just women. It's helping anybody who has a hard time fitting into a normal gi. And I just want everybody, if you want to be able to do this, you should be able to do this. So I do my best.
Exactly. Exactly. I like it. Okay, so we are gonna kind of change things up a little bit, at least from kind of how I usually do things. Before we started recording, you mentioned that you had a few questions for me about Kempo and that sort of thing. So yeah, we're gonna change roles
Okay.
here, and I'm gonna be the interviewee,
Okay.
and you can
So
ask me whatever you'd like.
okay, so because I'm in this sort of gi world, I started in white uniforms only. Kempo traditionally seems always to wear black, right? And
Yeah, I would say most Kempo schools. Well, it kind of depends on the school, but
okay,
some, at least from my perspective, the majority of them wear black, or at least when you get to an advanced level, you get a black gi. But yeah.
okay. Here's my okay. Then this is going to add on a question. What color do you start in, or how does that work?
There are a number of schools that start with white gis, and
Okay.
then when you get to like a brown belt or black belt level, then you get the black gis. Some schools, at least all the schools that I've trained at, you just wore a black gi from day one. Um, and there's some schools that might have like a red or a mixture or something like that. But I would say for the majority of Kempo schools, they either start at black or you get black towards the quote unquote end of your training.
Okay. All right. So I started because I had lots of people reach out and were like, when are you going to do black uniforms? I was like, I I don't know. Good question. Mostly it's storage space for extra product, but I started carrying black uniforms, and I get lots of questions like, "Oh, well, I do, Kempo, or I do Sobakdo, or I do any," and I like to I like to think I'm fairly well versed in the karate world, but I am way out of my league in anything for Kempo or Kaju Kempo has reached out, Sobakdo. So there's lots of other styles, and it's like anytime I have somebody that does a different style near me, it's like, okay, what do you wear? How do you wear it? What weight fabric is it? And what does it need to be able to do? Do you throw each other? Do you, are you grabbing collars? Are you grabbing sleeves? Do you need a jujitsu top? Do you need, what do you need? What is the best way to serve that community, with a product if I only get to pick one? So fabric type.
Gotcha.
That's the kind of question.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Would you be open to, or do you have some sort of system to where somebody could like, oh well, like this is the kind of uniform that I wear, and they send you one, and then you kind of decode it, kind of
Rip it
reverse
apart.
engineer it, and kind of go for from there.
To a point, yes, but I also have to make sure that there is obviously a large enough community that I'm not just serving, one specific school, and that there's a greater need, like a population need rather than a very specific need. Recently in the last few weeks, I had somebody from Sobakdo reach out to me and say, "Hey, I really like your uniform. I would need I think they were a curvy fit, which means that they're in female sizings, like 14 to size 18. And I needed to have navy blue collar." And it's like, I can't do that kind of specific. Like that's a little too niche. Because then I would need to have a product line for slim, standard, and curvy fit with a midnight collar. And then she was saying, "Oh, and then I'm going to test and I'll be able to have a black collar." And it's like, okay, now I have to have different color. So there's just not, right now for me, there's not enough demand for all the different specificities. So that's where I'm wondering is, if I was to start, reaching out to people who do Kempo, can I accurately describe, I have a black uniform. It looks like this, it acts like this, and it would serve you. Whereas I don't want to show up and be like, "Oh, but we use this in Kempo," and be like, "Oh, sorry. Okay. I had no idea." So that's kind of what I also need help with is, what community is the best community to start trying to solve some of these, or to fill in some of these issues of females having no uniform that will serve them in black. What styles are those? Because I just don't know.
Gotcha. Well, we'll definitely work on getting the word out there, and help spread the word so that we can get everybody get the appropriate drip? Is that still a thing the kids are using these days? And
Sure.
and yes, I am very old, so you just. But yeah, we I definitely want to help spread the word, and yeah, let's get everybody get their gear in check and looking sharp and ready for combat, ready for testing, ready for
Right. That's
all the
ready.
good things that we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. So, I wanted to just kind of get back on your journey a little bit here. So with all of your training, you got into the teaching side of
Mhm.
the arts, and with teaching, was that something that you were always interested in, or was it thrust upon you as it is with many of my guests? And how is that going for you?
Both. So let's see. I once I was in university, and I would leave. I went to university in Montana, and I started Ishinru, and then I would come back home to Alaska for the summer or for Christmas. And I found, more often than not, my instructor would say, like, hey, could you lead class, here, just work on whatever it is that you're doing in Montana, or just help introduce them to something. Ishinru is so different and similar than Shudokan and Gosokaru in the style of their punch. They're very vertical, or they punch vertically. So it's not like that's something that I could really share to my school back in Alaska. So I found that I would share more kobudo katas with them, or I would share more sparring or kumite drills with them. And I really have always kind of liked teaching. I liked the aspect of figuring out how to get somebody to understand their own body and their own mechanics and have those light bulb moments. Because the way that I guess when we come about, everything was just mimic, and eventually it clicks. And so he left a lot of mystery behind, why are we doing this? And the black belts would sometimes get together and we would just have little chit chats and be like, oh, this, connects. And then I found that this worked really well for me. And so then I found teaching was fun. It was serving me just as much as somebody else, because the realism of saying something out loud that maybe your subconscious didn't really know that it even understood. It's like, oh, I do know how to explain that. And then you go down that rabbit hole to explain it to 100 different people. So eventually I changed gears again and moved to Idaho, which is where I am now. And I teach 3 to 4 days a week in Eagle, Idaho. And the school that I had walked into just after, so I came to Idaho to have kids and raise my family. Alaska was way too expensive for that. So my parents were planning to retire here, and long story short, 9 years later, still here. But the school that was close by, and it was one of the only karate or traditional karate schools. Everything else was ATA and Master Kim and Kaju Kembo. Very, very different, but just not at all what I was looking for. And so really this was one of the only traditional Japanese karate dojos that was in the area. And it is run by a woman here. And so the school is very unique now because it has a female owner and Shihan instructor, and then myself, who runs the Kobudo, the adult advanced black belt classes, and then I also do the coaching for all of our AAU tournament stuff. So you have 2 females, which is so uncommon. um,
Yeah.
and so that also drives a completely different demographic that we have found that creates our community. So that's where I'm at right now. Is I'm working through Idaho Martial Arts in Eagle for the last almost 10 years now, which is so cool. And that side of teaching and really coming up with the curriculum and the belt requirements and all of it it's been very, very fun and very, very interesting to me. And it's been absolutely wonderful watching the kids grow up and watching the adults get to black belts. And even when they are starting, really late in life, just start. Stop fooling yourself. Just start. No time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just been a really
Exactly.
wonderful family and a wonderful community. And I've been very, very thankful to be a part of it. And I really, really enjoy the welcoming nature that Shehan Steinwald created for me when I first showed up and essentially knocked on her door and was like, "Hi, I'm homeless. Will you adopt me?" And she was like, "Yeah, come here. I want you to work." And so it was just cool because we got to, play off of each other because we're two totally different teachers, absolutely totally different teachers. And the kids or the students, sorry, they I feel bad for them sometimes because they get whiplash because she's very reserved and very debonair, and I'm very like loud and obnoxious. So, the poor students have to like really put on their thinking caps for attending classes with us, but simultaneously they are learning how to take instruction from two totally different personalities. And I think now that I've had to essentially study this group for the last 9 to 10 years, they're really better for having more input and more people to care about them, more people to help guide their journey. And so I've really, really taken to teaching, and I don't know who I would be, without that whole community. So very special.
Exactly. Very nice. No, I can agree. I've done some teaching in my time in the arts, and yeah, there's nothing quite like it. And I love the feeling both for the growth of the students, and then also admittedly a little selfish for myself. I get a no, well, kind of pun intended. I get a kick out of seeing the students have that light bulb moment, and
Yeah.
and getting grasping something that maybe they didn't understand before,
Mm-hmm.
and I like having a hand in that. So
Yeah.
very nice, very
Yeah.
nice.
There's some funny ones where like they'll say something funny in the sense of they'll be learning something and they're stuck or they've hit kind of that plateau, and I'll harp on them like, "Come on, you're supposed to be better than me. Let's get going. Like, come on, like let's keep going, keep pushing through." And they're like, "What do you mean better than you? My job is to make you better than me." That's my job. And they're just like,
Exactly,
"Oh."
exactly.
The little ones like, "Okay." Like, when I was your age, I was rubbish. You're doing great. And they're like, "Really?"
Very nice.
Yeah. So, that is our, the epitome is making sure that all of your students are doing well better than you are, right? You want them to surpass you by leaps and bounds. So if I can help them do that,
Exactly.
I'm going to.
Exactly, exactly. Very nice, very nice. I like it. All right, so we're going to move into what I call our lightning round here. So I got a few little questions for you as we head towards wrapping up here. So the very first question is, do you have a favorite technique?
Favorite technique? Are we looking for like very specific things, or
Just anything that anything that you want to say is anything that's in your definition of a technique, feel free to choose that.
I think my class would tell you the things that I say the most because I get excited about the most in class when we're teaching or when I'm teaching something, whether it be in a kata or just a technique or what have you, is I love a good joint lock. I love a good joint
Oh, nice.
and I really love to punch or hit anybody in the throat. So I would probably tell, oh yeah, she's just going for the throat every time. So I guess that would probably be a favorite technique is I love joint locks and shots to the throat, apparently.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. It just it instantly came to mind the movie Identity Thief with oh gosh, what's her face? I can't believe I can't even think of her name now.
This is
McCarthy.
the one with Justin Bateman.
Melissa.
Right. Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy. Yes, Justin Bateman.
Yeah.
And
That's a funny
McCarthy.
one.
And
That's a good one.
yeah, for those that may not be familiar with the movie, Melissa McCarthy's character, she also is a fan of the throat shots. So definitely check that out if we want to see some throat work there. So very nice. I like it. All right. Next question. Do you have a favorite kata?
I have a favorite kata. What style?
Anyone that you want, or you can pick one from each, or however you want to answer it.
Okay, so let's see. For Shudokan, because we have a very interesting Basai kata. For Shotokan, and this is only because I've like really gone down a rabbit hole on this one, is Empi and heel turning. And then for Goju-ryu, right now I've been really fascinated and into Shiso-chin. For Gosoku-ryu, my favorite is Tomoshi. And for Isshin-ryu, it's Sun-su. I just love Sun-su. That last kata and just moving differently is so cool. So there you go. Yeah. A little bit of everything.
Very nice. Very nice. No, I like that, especially as my guests that have trained in multiple arts. They don't usually pick one from each of the arts. So that's this is a first.
Well, the
so
mentalities
I like
are
that.
so different, right? When you do you have to put on your like Shotokan thinking cap. You know what to me is like a really good fundamental Shotokan kata that helps with a brown belt reaching black belt, and then a basic person for learning how to heel turn. To me, like Empi has been this like really big light bulb kata for me in the past. That's when a lot of like Shotokan principles really started falling into place. And then Shiso-chin, kind of similarly, it was just a kata that was maybe similar enough in certain ways to something in the past that I've done. It was like, oh, okay. And then I think about, grounding and how to be, strong, but also soft. And then Gosoku-ryu, strong and fast. Tomoshi is just absolutely wild in how it manipulates the body movements. And so like, there's just got like little pieces. Isshin-ryu, that's their like pinnacle kata, is Sun-su. And it's a cool kata. It's so cool. So I can't pick just one. It depends where I am.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So next question. Do you have a favorite weapon?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to be existential and I'm going to say your voice first.
Oh.
Okay.
Another first, I think, for the show.
I'm going to say your voice. You have power and authority in your voice. If you have nothing else, you have a voice. Use it wisely. Use it passionately. Use your voice. And then, because I feel like you're looking for maybe a Kobudo aspect, Um, it's whatever weapon's in my hand. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pick
No, that
because
is a very valid answer, and one that has been used a few times on the show. So
I
you're good.
I
You're good with
I
that.
I forget like like I'll put tunfa down for however long, and like I'm focusing on kama or nunchaku, and then I pick the tunfa back up and I'm like, God, I like tunfa. Or I'll put nunchaku down and I go back to it. It's like, oh man, I missed nunchaku. So I think it really just depends on what I'm hyper fixating on at the time, because there's such beauty and elegance in everything. So
Very nice. I like it. I like it. All right. All right. Next question here. If there is anyone that you could train with, living or dead, fictional or non-fictional, who would that be?
oh, I'd want to go see Soke talk again. He passed away a couple years ago, and it was always on this to-do list. Like I moved from Alaska down to lower 48, and I was like, okay, I'm so close. I'll be able to go and see him. And I never was in a mental like peace of mind where I felt confident enough to go and see him, and I should have just went.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Our final question here is, what is something that always motivates you to train, and or something that you want to put out to motivate others to train? So I typically use the example of the movie Rocky IV. We got him running in the snow, and the music's playing, and he's lifting the rocks and all that good stuff. Anytime I see that scene, I'm ready to hit the mats and get to work. So what is something like that for you, and or something that you want to share with others to motivate them?
Pop culture wise, I live under a rock, so everything that you just said was like this.
Oh, well, if you haven't seen Rocky Four, you need to go and see Rocky Four. That's your homework.
Yeah, I'd have to watch 2 and 3 as well. I'm betting.
Yeah, you can get to them after you
I
see
can get by.
four.
Okay. Yeah, pop culture and me, we don't get along super well. Let's see, something that motivates me.
And it doesn't have to be
Okay.
pop culture. It could be just anything at all that motivates you.
It's not pop culture. Okay. This is one of those, if you know, you know. Okay. So if you know, you know, when you take a hiatus or you're on, okay, for a female, we leave for months, if not years at a time, to raise a family and have kids. Okay. And we're on a hiatus. Maybe you go to university, or your work or your job has just taken you out somewhere. The biggest motivator to me was when you're in that mental funk of just that grind. Put your gi on. Put your gi on. Get dressed. Just put it on. Look at yourself in the mirror. Okay? Throw a couple punches at the mirror and remind yourself that this is your super suit, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff in that super suit. And so sometimes when I'm in a mental funk, I won't put my gi on, and I'll be training in, shorts and leggings, or, your dojo shirts or whatever. Put your gi on. If you need to motivate yourself, put your damn gi on. That would be, to me, is when I'm in a funk and I need to get my butt back into the dojo, I put my gi on. And I'm like, oh yeah, it feels so good. This is great. That's the feeling to me, is like, okay, then I'm, figuring out when the next class is and go down the YouTube rabbit hole of whatever, because you want to watch, Riku Usami do something really cool, or Sandra Sanchez do, a beautiful Shatnyara Kusanku, and then you just get super excited. To me, it's put your gi on.
Very, very, very nice. Yeah. See, you say that you're not the pop culture person, but you said that, and I immediately thought of there's tons of variations of this meme, but basically it was dressed for the job that you want, and then there's a picture of a guy dressed up as Batman.
There you go.
So, so you're right there
Yeah. Okay.
with the rest of
Cool.
us geeks, nerds, whatnot. So perfect. I like it. All right, so we are at our very final piece of business today, and that is the shameless self promotion. So you can go ahead and plug anything that you want, or if there's anything that we haven't covered, feel free to have the floor here, and then we'll close out from there.
Okay. Well, obviously, own a kimono. I'm really just trying to reach a population the best that I can. I'm terrible at social media. I do my best. So I have, Facebook and Instagram at Own a Kimono. And then I started TikTok like last week. I don't understand it entirely right now, but I'm on TikTok now.
That's okay. Neither do I.
So Ona.kimono. There's like 4 people. So, but please help me feel like less of a fool and share or like or whatever. Because mostly I want to create a greater reach, and I can't do that without people, liking and sharing and sharing my story or sharing that I even exist. Most people were like, that doesn't exist. And I'm like, hi, I'm in the back. Hello. Over here. I do exist. But that would be the big plug, is like, let me try and help you find a uniform that fits you, no matter what your body type or size. And recently I took on, because I've been loving teaching so much, I took on writing a martial arts journal, a training journal. It is on the website as well, but it's called The Daily Practice. And it's to be more mindful in your training. It specifically asks you a lot of questions and prompts. There's lots of check boxes, which is fantastic for ADHD people like me. And there's a whole introduction about that teaches you how to write in shorthand, how to write a kata in shorthand. The premise behind this is to helping students who are going off to college and might be, again, taking a hiatus and then coming back and forth, so they can record what they know now and then get back to it. Women who are going off and starting families, anybody who has stopped for surgery or stopped because of an injury and they want to get back into things, or they want to help create a log of what they know at that time. I'm developing a journal, I guess a trilogy, this being kind of the beginner journal, where the questions are very broad, very basic, and then moving into an intermediate and then an advanced journal for black belts and instructors. How to teach this? What ideas do you have for this class of this people? So really just working on developing the daily practice and getting that out there as well. My students are using it to help avoid plateaus, to help be a lot more mindful when they're training for competition, because that type of training is totally different, where, everyday karate training is very much more of a shotgun approach. We're going to do self-defense. We're going to do some kihon. We're going to do some kata. We're going to do kumite. We're going to do kobudo. Whereas when you train for tournaments, you're like, okay, you're going to do kata, but just these ones. Or you're going to do kobudo, but only this. And so you get those very minute details, and it's a place to start recording those things. And it's also a place to start reflecting back on, hey, I didn't think that I was getting anywhere in my training, but now I'm seeing, as I'm reading through this, I've actually learned a lot. That way you can start holding yourself almost accountable, and taking ownership of your own training. And if you've ever wondered, like, hey, why am I not progressing as fast as this person? Well, are you doing class to do class, or are you doing class to internalize and grow from that class? And so this is a journal that's really heavily weighted on taking ownership and being mindful of your training. While you might be training for life, that's great. But let's record and keep track of what all of your victories are and what all of those hurdles are that you've jumped over and the plateau that you got out of. And it's just to really help you form that and record all of that. Because I know so many people, especially somebody who's been in it for decades, I'm like, how many kata do you know? Oh, 50 something. I'm like, do you have them written down somewhere? Like, no. So what happens when you lose those? I don't know. I'll record it, I guess. And that tends to be what most people say. But recording the kata is one thing. But while you're doing the kata, you're not saying, oh, I need to remember that this hip on this side goes like this, and I need to really focus on throwing it down in this direction. This arm is going up. And, that whole bit can't be transcribed in a video, and it probably honestly maybe can't be transcribed in a journal, but maybe there's little key points that you can give yourself. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. This is the kata where I'm supposed to be focusing on this. This is the kata that bridges this to this. And then you're starting to connect all of these dots for yourself. So again, another long-winded tangent. I'm so sorry. I'm notorious for that.
No, that's like I said. Rat holes are welcome and appreciated around here. So, no, that was I like that. I'm definitely in the camp of I don't write things down. Excuse me. I don't write things down as much as I should, and by writing down as much as I should, that means at all. So, yeah, I can. I definitely need to take a page from your book there and get on that. So
I tell people it's kind of like before and after photos, right? You have to have a before and after photo. You have to have, where you were before and then now where you are after. And this is what I'm trying to get people to understand in a journal. It's like, this is where you started. This is where you're ending. That's freaking awesome. Good job.
Exactly. All right. So, yes, no, I thank you so much for taking the time to be on and sharing your story. And as I say, with many of my guests, as much as I would love a 25-hour show, we can't do that.
My drink's gone.
Or I should say, most people probably would not tune into that. So you definitely have an open invitation to be on at any point in the future, and we'll definitely have to have you back on for part 2, 3, 4, and 12. And yeah, I'll make sure that we spread the word about what you're doing. So make sure to get all the links for your various pages and socials and all that sort of thing to me, and I will make sure to get those out there. And yeah, let's spread the word. Let's get everybody in that new gi and get them hooked up and looking sharp and ready to train. So yeah, once again, I'm just a huge fan of what you're doing, and I thank you so much for being on. And yeah, we'll definitely have to do this again real soon.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on and letting me ramble mercilessly. I appreciate that, and thank you for sharing your podcast with everybody and getting to interview all of these people. It's got to be really, really cool to learn about this world. So thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love hearing the stories, and as much as I love talking to the famous people, I love talking to the not so famous people and the soon to be famous people and everybody in between. So yeah, I love getting the stories and being able to share them with others that may want to hear them as well. So
thank you. Appreciate it.
As an academy owner, you work hard to build trust with your students, their parents, and your community. But trust isn't something you claim, it's something you prove and earn. That's where Academy Safe comes in. We help academies like yours stand out with verified safety standards. Background checks for all staff, U.S. Center for Safe Sports certification, concussion training, defibrillators on site, CPR, first aid, and AED certification, security cameras, rank and lineage checks, and verification of business insurance. Join the trusted martial arts registry that's redefining safety throughout North America. Lead by example. Show parents you're accredited with Academy Safe.